El Maestro speaks.
El Maestro speaks.
El Maestro speaks.
Podcast.
Yo. Okay, so what's happening here? Yep, we are recording. Check, 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 check. How are you? And something's wrong with our internet, I guess.
Who knows how long
There you go.
I loved you? You know I love you still. Will I wait a lonely lifetime? If you want me to,
How's everybody? Yo. Yeah. At least for the teachers, right? The last week of October. So this last week of October, I don't know how many days before Christmas.
always feel
Yeah, the Filipinos are fond of doing countdowns before Christmas. Even like, yeah, so that would mean that Christmas is the greatest holiday in the world. Even greater in the Philippines. Yeah. I mean, it's a great holiday. Is there a word higher than greatest? Like, yeah, Christmas is the greatest holiday all over the world. It's like greatest test. If you're in the Philippines, the longest too in the Philippines, I tell you. Yeah, all those months with BER, like October, November, December. You'll start. Just go around the Philippines. You'll start seeing Christmas lights being installed as early as not even October, even September. So there's that. Yeah. Oh, how is everybody? Yeah. Just want to say hi. Just recorded this episode of this podcast to say hi to everyone, And of course, this is us talking about what happened for the past week, right? Yeah. It happened for the past week, but I would like to include this one though. Okay. So like a while ago, there was this, I saw news, okay, about the ICI. Still, if you have listened to the past episode, we've been talking about the corruption here in the Philippines, about the flood controls and everything. So, yeah, there's this, what do you call this one? The committee that was created, supposed to be this independent. It was created to investigate it. Because obviously the government cannot investigate itself and be impartial about it. It cannot create an impartial result of investigation, because it is the government that is being accused of corruption here. So they created a committee. And the committee a while ago just released a statement, and they are recommending these people here to be charged of corruption. So let's start with, I'll just list the name here. And perhaps for the fellow Filipinos who are like following the news, you already know who. So we have Senator Jingo Estrada. Yeah, obviously. This guy, we heard this name like before. There was this scam again, the PDAF scam. It's a long story. So it's like a pork barrel scam. All the lawmakers are given money from the government fund for civic projects, and then they made a scam to siphon back the money. It looks like they were giving the money to like an organization that helps the poor, but the money is going back to them with, of course, a percentage to the person who orchestrated this scam. Now, I think he was acquitted because of technicalities. I don't know, we are not lawyers here, but as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, he was acquitted because of legal technicalities and apparently lack of evidence. So I don't know what evidence are they trying to find though. So actually I think all of them were acquitted. Even the brain of this operation was acquitted. So yeah, just there's that. There's that. That's I don't know if you can call it funny or anymore. It's yeah. So that's him. Number one person was recommended to be charged. We have Senator Joel Villanueva. This is the senator, the son of the famous evangelist here in the Philippines. Former Representative or Congressman Saldi Co. Yeah, if people are following the news, they already know about him. You can also read about him in the news. And then some officials of the Department of Public Works and Highway and Commission on Audit, like this person here, Roberto Bernardo Maria Lipana and Mary Metsi Kajayon. And 15 contractors and engineers tied to the ghost projects. And I was actually looking for this name, the guy's name, for the former Speaker of the House of Congress. Because, oh come on, he runs the show. And he was not included in the list. So I don't know where it would seem like, yeah. I just don't want to say something here that I would regret later on, but yeah, I was actually looking for his name because as to the understanding of an ordinary person like me, he runs the Congress, like he's like the leader of the Congress. So he like runs the show on how the budget is being divided and whatnot. Like, yeah, he does. They're the one doing that, right? And there is also, because it's too big to ignore, the rumors about the 777 back during the campaign, and if you join their group, you'll be receiving a 7 million for something, something like that. Yeah, I don't want to go into details on that one, but I was actually looking for his name. Was surprised that it was not included here. I don't know if this is the final result of the investigation of the ICI, but I hope, I just hope that there's gonna be more, because if they are not gonna, it's blatantly clear for an ordinary person like me. It's blatantly clear that there's that. Okay, now if they can charge this person here, then after that, then we can backtrack to the previous administration if that's what people wants, right? So we can charge everyone, because like I said, nobody's hand is clean on this one. Nobody's hand is clean on this. And I wouldn't think, you know, if we are going to do real investigation what's happening here, yeah, you won't be having leaders in the Philippines anymore. For sure. For sure. Power corrupts, you know. Power corrupts. And in the Philippines, people love to stay in power because they can easily get away from stealing people's money, you know. And if this the investigation being conducted by these guys, is being conducted sloppily, And yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't blame people if they're going to hate the government system. They're gonna be hating on democracy itself, because it's an obvious charade, you know? It's an obvious charade. And me personally, I demand more. I want to know. This is like, and I'm hopeful that this is just a part of the list. You know, I haven't read the entire news about this, but I'm hopeful that this is just, like you say, a first batch of those who are going to be indicted because of stealing people's money, and more are gonna be released soon. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Yeah.
Naalala ka, sayang tulaganta.
Oh my god. It took my energy all of it. Yeah, so what happened for the past week? Yep. Sad news here in the Philippines. For those who follow, I mean, those who like, how do you do this? Those who love staying in social media, staying in their socials, like following news in TikTok, Twitter, and the likes. Okay, so it's a big news here. I don't know if it's a big news elsewhere, but here in the Philippines, the daughter of one of the famous journalists, media personality here, Kim Atienza, is the son of a famous politician also in Manila. I think he was once a politician too, because I kind of remember that back in the day there was a Hollywood movie that was shot here in the Philippines. It was shot here in the Philippines, but in the movie it was in Thailand. They shot it here in the Philippines. An actress made a comment about Manila, and then I kind of remember a certain councillor, the city council, like a legislator for the city, named Kim Atienza, writing a legislation or an ordinance declaring that Hollywood actress to be persona non grata here in the city of Manila. So yeah, I remember him. This is the city councillor. So, yep, from a political clan also, but became famous in his own way as Kuya Kim, who is kind of like a man of vast knowledge, information about wide array of things. So that's Kim Atienza. And the news last week is not about him, it's about his daughter who passed, unfortunately passed. It's the way of passing that we don't like to hear and we don't like to discuss because it's, you know, painful. So yeah, it's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming like, I don't want to say common, I don't want to say prevalent, but you hear it a lot these days. Yeah, it's a sad thing, it's a reality, but you hear it a lot these days of these youngsters full of potential, so socially adaptable, so sociable, so happy, suddenly passing away. So yeah, I had a relatively close experience on this one. Back in the day, I was in another workplace where in one of my workmate, also she had a daughter who passed in the same way that the daughter of Atienza did. and it's difficult to bear now. I am not a part of the family in whatever connection, but looking at the situation, it's very difficult. You as a friend, as someone who is there, don't ever know what to say. You won't ever know what to say. How are you going to condole the family? You know, the only thing that you can do actually is just to offer a hug, just to offer an open ear to ear. Let me drink that. Let me drink that. I think we're gonna be doing a game here wherein if I mispronounce a word, I'm gonna have a drink. It's cold, by the way. Just covering with the tissue because it's cold. Anyway, so yeah, the only thing that you can do is that just offer a listening ear. Just listen to their story. In my opinion, I cannot say anything. I don't know if I can say something that will comfort the person. It's because I understand that you would be questioning yourself a lot. Why did that happen? Why did this happen? What did I do? Did I fell short as a parent? Did I fail as a parent? That is the number one thing that you will feel. Number one thing that you will ask yourself if your kid does that. You know, that's a very, very, yeah. It's a very difficult situation. And I don't know why it's so common now. I think everybody would agree with me when I say that our children, this generation, I think need us more than ever. You know, we can say that. Let's just say, because I observe this too, in terms of knowledge, in terms of learning things, they're so fast, man. But I think it's the parents' responsibility now is to provide a pillar for their emotional, or provide a space for their emotional growth. Yeah, it's. I think that's where they're lacking. The growth in their emotional side of being a person. That's where they're lacking, this generation. So I think that's where our parents, friends, the entire village will come in and contribute on the development of the mental and emotional health of this generation, of these children. Right? So, yeah. I was just talking about this because I saw a post, and this is where you can see, like I said, social media times is so harsh. You know, the person is grieving, and then some people will be commenting on his post like, "Oh, dang." So, just to review, I think there was a post made by Kim Atienza of his child singing. I don't know where he posted it. Yeah, of Emmett, bless their soul, singing. I think with the caption, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away." Yeah. So, yeah. The post of a grieving father. And then here comes a comment saying that he failed as a parent. Let me just see if I can find that one, because it's very, what do you call this? It's a very good example for us to use. You know, it's a very good example for us to use when we say that hindsight is always 20/20. You know, I think what she said was, I cannot find it, I'm sorry. I think what she said was that you failed as a parent, you should have done more, something like that. And then Kim called him an evangelical bully, right? So, yeah, I would agree with Kim. He's an I think that's a woman, is an evangelical bully. Like I said, there's a truth, and it's a universal truth, that hindsight is always 2020. It's very difficult to make decisions when you are at the moment, but after everything has happened, you can actually see what you should have done, what should have been done, and you can also say things like that if you are not in the situation. Like that person leaving a comment, he is not in that situation. He is outside the box, can clearly see what is happening, and he can actually maybe say something that might be helpful or hurtful. And in this case, she said something that is hurtful. Okay, because one disadvantage of staying outside that situation is not feeling what the feeling, the emotion of the person experiencing that thing. She, for lack of a better term, did not walk a mile on Kim's shoes. She cannot understand what has been happening. So, yep, in all sense of the word, okay, and using God's name to like say something against Kim, he is an evangelical bully. He's a bully. He is grandstanding on morality. Like he knows a lot of things. Again, you're outside the box, you're away from the situation. You can clearly see things, but you haven't experienced it. You never have been through the intense emotion that was brought about by the situation. So nobody should be talking like that. And again, hindsight is 2020. Okay? Those two things go together. Okay? So instead of critiquing, giving comments, insensitive comments like that, why not just show compassion? You know? Just show compassion. Show compassion to the person. I guess, and I'm pretty sure that Kim have done everything within his power and ability to help his daughter. Yeah. Every parents would. Every freaking parents would. Even that evangelical bully for sure would. But there are things that is out of the parents' hand. There are things that is beyond our control. That is one of the things that we should understand before we comment. Again, hindsight is always 2020, and if you are not in the situation, you are far. You're just an what do you call it? Spectator? Oh my goodness, I need to drink. You're just a viewer. Then you wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't understand it. So that is one of the things we need to remember when we are giving comments, you know. One of the most important things we should remember when giving comments. And in situations like that, wherein it's a tragic situation, instead of preaching, why not give a comforting message to the person, right? That should be the number one thing that you should do. Show compassion. No grandstanding. Okay? It's sometimes, yeah, you're not all, but at times, and it's getting exhausting at times to face. And don't get me wrong, I believe in God. I was brought up in a religious family. Yeah, and again, I believe in God. But at times it's like more of a burden to listen to people preaching on you, telling you things when you are emotionally burdened with grief, with loneliness, and somebody's spewing spiritual things. I'm afraid to say preachy things. They might scold me when they listen to this. But yeah, when you are in a situation wherein you are so down, and you're so down, you don't know what to do, and then people are spewing verses and spewing things like, yeah, I've been in your situation too, and I did this and I did that, and look at me, things like that, like using themselves as an example of they they went through a situation where they came out victorious, and like this and like that, doing that to you, saying things to you like that, wherein in that particular time the only thing you need is a hug. Yeah, it's more exhausting. It is freaking exhausting. I've been through that. That's why, yeah, I talk a lot here, but if I feel down, I would rather choose to be alone. I don't want to listen to anything. Just want to be alone, stay inside a room, just be quiet, be with yourself. And then I found this way of comforting yourself. I have a second person talking to me. It's okay, like that. And yeah, in that way, at least I can feel it better, because when my dad died, there's a lot of, yeah, and I know, don't get me wrong, I appreciate those ones, but then just right at the moment, what I need was that, just a hug, and that's it. You don't need to spew things, you don't need to tell me things about, no. Yeah. And same rule applies in social media. Just give your comment of condolences, or show your compassion to the person, and that's it. That is it. Okay. Yeah. That's what we need. I think that's what we need in the world of internet right now. We should learn how to show compassion. Yep. Yeah, so that's what happened the past week, right? Yeah, so our condolences, of course, to the Kim Matienzo family. Yeah. And I think this does not just apply to people here in the Philippines, but it applies to everyone around the globe. Yeah, we make mistakes, so we understand that person, that person who commented like that to Kim Matienzo's post. Yeah, she's learning. Maybe she realized her mistake now, and she's gonna be a better person. Our mistakes, if we learn from them, will make us better. Wow.
Ay nagpahila, isang matawa, at pasensya ka, nang nilayan ikaw.
Alright. So, who among you here have watched the movie Kazan? Yeah, the Kazan is like, for those who doesn't know, Manuel Kazan is like the first Commonwealth president of the Philippines when we were a Commonwealth under American control. He became the president. He is also known as the father of the national language. And for those who doesn't know, he is also, let's just say, for lack of a better word, I don't know if somebody called him this, but I would just say he's like the Schindler of the Philippines. He allowed some Jews to, like, I don't know the exact number of Jews who came here when Hitler was starting to annihilate them. Annihilate. Another drink. Yeah. So we let Jews stay here in the Philippines to escape the Nazi control. So it's Kazan. Now, there was this TBA studio who created like a movie on the heroes. It started with General Luna to the General Luna is like the general during the American War, to Gregorio del Pilar, the youngest general, I guess, during the Philippine-American War, up to Kazan. So, the way they presented the movie or the stories, not the whole story, just like a part of the story of these heroes, is that they have actually shown that these heroes have human idiosyncrasy, or what do you call it? What do you call that one? Stupidity. They are infallible. They made mistakes. Let's just put it that way. They showed, how can I say this? They showed the human side of these heroes, because in history or the way that the life of these heroes were taught to us is that it was kind of like, or the way that it was written in the textbook for children, for school children, it was kind of like they are gods, that they are perfect, that they never made mistake, that all of the things that they did, all of the things that they thought for their entire life is to serve the country. Kind of like, yeah, that's how it was presented to us. That is how it was written in the textbook, let's just say. So this movie production company just showed the human side of these heroes, like for General Antonio Luna, that accordingly to the history, that he has a temper. The first hero, Emilio Aguinaldo, was he was like how do you call this one? He had made like decisions anchored to political survival, I should say. So, yeah, made mistakes. Goyo, who has been chasing, like he kind of looked like he was chasing power, though of course in his mind there's that he's fighting for the country, but of course, and at the same time he is chasing for glory, things like that, which is, you cannot, you can, even if it's true, let's just say, yeah, because of course there's an argument that no, that's not true, something like that, but let's just say, even if that is true, I would say that they are still heroes, because they have done a great amount of work for us to be here today, for us to be called Filipino today. So regardless of the mistakes that they have done, they are still heroes, right? So I just remember this because I was about to close on that thing about Kim Chance's daughter, but I just remember this because I remember the video of the grandson of Manuel L. Quezon fuming because I think in his mind he said they disgraced the legacy of his grandfather, things like that. And yeah, I would say you cannot blame the person. It's his family, it's his grandfather. Of course, if there are negative things there that will come out, that came out from the movie, because I haven't watched the movie yet, to be honest, there's some negative things that came out there, then you can blame the person for getting mad. And I think, as a while ago, just read another member of the Quezon clan stating the same, that they're mad about the movie, things like that, and they have every right to be. They didn't like how the life of their grandfather was presented in the movie. They have every right to be. But what I want to say here is that, wait for
You're loving, I know that I never told her how much I love her. I see her face before me, I look in her eyes.
What I want to say here is that I appreciate the way TBA has done the movie, because it has shown us that our heroes are humans too. They're prone to making mistakes, like most of us, And if Quezon did something that is, let's say, wrong, made decisions that is wrong, like I said a while ago, hindsight is 20/20. He made those decisions with the informations that he have at hand, with what he know during those time. And if the result is a mistake, then that's part of being a human, right? So that does not make him less of a hero. He is a hero, but still he is human. And if he made some decisions that is anchored to political survival, or is anchored to cling to power, like what they say, he is the first traditional politicians. Traditional politicians is negative connotation now.
I want inside my
Let's just say traditional politicians, in the sense that he knows how to do power play in the world where they're moving in. So if he made decisions in connection to that one, then it's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's who he is. Okay? He knows how to stay on top. And who did? And who didn't? In this day and age, who didn't do this kind of game? Who didn't make decisions for self-preservation, for promotion, that maybe and in hindsight, you are looking at it, oh my goodness, I did a mistake there. Things like that. Yeah. That thing there is what makes us human. And we should always remember that our heroes are humans. They are not different from us. Our heroes are humans too. Okay? Humans is like us. They are prone to mistake like us. And regardless of what Kazan did, okay, I haven't seen the movie, but I know enough anecdotes and historical accounts about Kazan that I'm sure I'm not straying away from what I'm saying here. So the Tidings-McDuffie Act, yeah, was created by him. But before that, there was a prior act that was created by other person, which is exactly the same than the one that he made. You know, things like that. But he knows how to play the ball. Again, he knows how to play the ball. So he did things there that I cannot go in detail with without looking at the book, because I might say something that's not good. Anyway, so regardless of what he did, okay, we should also remember that Kazan has made some laws that is so ahead of his time. Okay, so one example will be the national language of the Philippines. You know, that's one example. It's so ahead of its time. Just look at the other countries that was controlled or conquered by the Spaniards back in the days. Look at their national language. It's Spanish. Cuba, Venezuela, what else? Mexico, conquered by Spain. Their national language, Spanish. We were conquered by Spain for 333 years. What is our national language? It's not Spanish. That is because of Kazan. That is so ahead of his time. Okay? That is so ahead of his time. Thinking of one language that can control or that can be shared by all the Filipinos across the different islands from north to south. That is ahead of its time. And there's a lot more. You can just research on those ones, you know. So, whatever mistakes they have done, yeah, that was presented by the film, in my opinion, that does not make him less of a hero. Same is true, and same is to be said with the El Presidente, Emilio Aguinaldo. Same is to be said with Jose Rizal. Okay? So these guys, they're heroes, but they're humans too. Okay? They have imperfections, like all of us do. So, yeah, humans are heroes too. Okay? We make mistakes. Or heroes are humans too. They make mistakes like us. But they have made enough good things that has contributed to the development of our country. Those are heroes. And you can be one of that hero, right? Yeah, all of us can be. All of us can be, right? So, let's, just to close this podcast, I would like to say, let's reflect. Let's reflect on what we have discussed. This has happened in the past weekend. Yeah. It's always, again, good to reflect on how we respond to people who are suffering, who are in grief. Okay? Number one thing we should do is show compassion, you know. And I think, like what I said a while ago, children are intelligent now. What they need, I think, is people to help them in their mental and emotional growth. Yeah. takes a village to raise the child. And they need that, they need us in that aspect. We, the generation of the 90s, I think, let's just say we are hard trained. We have witnessed the dawn of the great civilization, great generation, and the dusk of this computer age. We've seen the both of worlds, the best of both worlds, and we know how to navigate, and we can share that to this coming generations, you know. Let's support their mental health. And yeah, let's continue demanding transparency to our government. Yeah, of course, yeah, at least in the issue of this Philippine corruption, we are still hopeful. More names will come out soon, you know. And yep, let's continue building. That's why I keep on talking about corruption every time I do the solo podcast. Let's continue building the culture that sees clearly, speaks truthfully, and acts compassionately. That's what we should strive to build. Again, this is El Maestro Speaks podcast. And thank you so much for being with me for like 40 minutes. Wow, this is fast. Thank you so much. And wherever you are in this part of the world, I would like to say thank you for listening. I would like to say God loves you so much. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. And see you in the next one.